Okay, good afternoon everyone. So for today's topic is imagery. So pag sinabi natin imagery, it is the language used in creative writing. Kasi guys, yung imagery, we are using our five senses. Okay? So ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng imagery talaga? Okay, so imagery is a language used by poets, novelists, and other writers to create images in the mind of the readers. Imagery includes figurative and metaphorical language to improve the reader's experience through their senses. And imagery is also the vivid sensory description. Okay, so pag sinabi natin imagery, guys, ginagamit natin dito yung five senses natin. And alam natin na ang five senses natin is madalas natin siyang ginagamit. So, the more na ginagamit natin yung five senses natin, the more na nagiging aware tayo sa paligid natin. Okay? Kasi ang paligid naman natin, ginagamitan ito talaga ng five senses. Okay? Ang ang paggamit ng mata, ilong, bibig, tenga, at yung pakiramdam. Okay? So sa imagery din guys, we are using metaphorical language. So when we say metaphorical, ang focus nito guys is we are using it to symbolize us. Okay? It, IT, or bagay. Okay? So there are examples of imagery. Okay? Or types of imagery. First is visual imagery, auditory imagery, olfactory imagery, gustatory imagery, and tactile imagery. So that's the five types of imagery. Okay, so sa types of imagery natin si visual, which is for sight, auditory, hearing, sound or hear, olfactory is for smell, gustatory is taste, and last is the tactile. Sa tactile naman guys is touch. Okay? So visual imagery under of visual imagery is color, size, shape, and pattern. Auditory imagery, music, noise, silence. Olfactory imagery, fragrances, scent, odor. Gustatory imagery, sweetness, spiciness, sourness, saltiness, savoriness. And sa tactile, guys, touch, temperature, movement, texture. Okay? So let's first discuss the visual imagery. Sa visual imagery, describes what we see. Okay? Kung ano yung nakikita natin. Okay? So visual imagery may include the color, which are burnt red, bright orange, dull yellow, verdant green, and robin's egg blue. Sa shapes, square, circular, tubular, rectangular, and conical. Conical, guys, is yung hugis cone. Size, minuscule, tiny, small, medium size, large, gigantic. Sa pattern, polka dotted, striped, zigzag, jagged, and straight. So all of these, guys, we are familiar kasi nakakita na tayo. Okay? So once na mabasa natin siya, madali na nating ma-identify kung ano yung gustong ipa-imagine sa atin ng writer. Kasi we are familiar to these things. Okay, the color, shape, size, pattern. Kasi madalas na natin siya nakikita sa paligid natin. Okay? So once na may mabasa tayong ganyan, okay, madali na natin siyang maiintindihan. Madali na natin siyang mai-imagine. Okay? Example, the night was black as ever, but bright stars light up the sky in beautiful and varied constellations which were sprinkled across the astronomical landscape. So in this example, guys, the experience of night sky is described in a depth with color. Black as ever bright. Shape is varied constellation, and last is the pattern, which is sprinkled. Okay? So next is the auditory. So auditory imagery describes what we hear from music to noise to pure silence. Okay. Auditory imagery may include enjoyable sounds like beautiful music, bird song, and the voices of a chorus. Next naman sa noises, the bang of a gun, the sound of a broom moving across the floor, and the sound of a broken glass shattering on the hard floor. Okay? So, paano ba yung tunog ng The bang of a gun, paano ba siya? So, Alison, paano?
Bang-bang po.
Okay, bang bang. Next, the sound of a broom moving across the floor. Erwin, paano ba? May tunog daw. May ilalaban si Erwin. Ang haba ng tunog. Okay, tingin ko ito yung broom ng witch. Okay, na kung saan yung papalipad na siya. Mahaba masyado eh. Pwede ba? Shh, shh. Diba? Ako na lang nag-sound. Okay. So, ayan. Next. Example ng ng auditory. Silence was broken by the peal of a piano keys as Shannon began practicing her concerto. Here, auditory imagery breaks silence with the beautiful sound of piano keys. Okay. So next. Next is olfactory. So olfactory, guys, describes what we smell. Okay. So paano yung naaamoy natin? Okay, olfactory imagery may include fragrances like perfumes, enticing food and drinks. So, enticing ibig sabihin nakakaakit. Okay, nakakaakit na amoy ng pagkain and blooming flowers. So, guys, kayo, kung magiging pagkain kayo or realin tulad yung sarili nyo sa isang pagkain, ano ito at paano mo nasabi na ikaw ay kaakit-akit? Okay, yung tila amoy pa lang, alam mo na agad na masarap siya. Okay, chat box. You can use our chat box para sa inyong sagot. Ulitin ko, enticing meaning nakakaakit. Okay? Kung magiging pagkain kayo guys, ano ito? Para masabi mo na ikaw ay nakakaakit. Okay? So gamit tayo ng chat box. Okay, Erwin, ang sinabi ay Graham. Okay, which is adobo. Totoo naman yung mga yan. Yung tila, amoy mo pa lang, yung alam mo na agad na masarap siya. Next, salad, chocolate cake, cinnamon, yes, of course, yung cinnamon. Talagang pagbukas mo pala ng box, lalo na pagbagong bili, okay, or sa supot, talaga ang amoy niya, pero ang sarap. Okay, yung nanunuot. Spaghetti, fried chicken, lalo na yung isang sikat na fast food. Maamoy mo pa lang yan, alam mo na, okay, may fried chicken tayo. Next, chicken curry, yes, maamoy, paksiw pizza. Okay, so ayan, dyan yung mga na-compare yung sarili nyo when it comes to enticing food and drinks. Next is the odors, rotting trash, body odors, or stinky wet dogs. Okay, rotting trash is yung mga nabubulok na basura. So, sa olfactory, ito yung example, she smelled the scent of the sweet hibiscus wafting through the air, and its tropical smell a reminder that she was in a vacation, a beautiful place. Okay, that she was on vacation in a beautiful place. Okay, so the olfactory here is the scent of the sweet hibiscus and the tropical smell of it. Okay, next. Next is the gustatory imagery. Describes what we taste. Okay? Kung ano yung nalalasahan natin. Okay, so sa gustatory imagery can include sweetness like candies, cookies, and desserts. Sourness, so nandyan si bitterness, and tartness such as lemons and lime. So guys, ngayon alam na natin na ang bitterness ay hindi dapat inuugali dahil ito ay parte ng isang panlasa. Okay? Next. So example, the candy melted in her mouth and swirls of the bittersweet chocolate and slightly sweet but salty caramel blended together on her tongue. So of course, the gustatory dyan is the bittersweet chocolate and slightly sweet but salty caramel. Next and last is the tactile imagery. Describes what we feel or what we touch. Okay, so tactile imagery includes temperature, bitter cold, humidity, mildness, and stifling heat. Texture, rough, rugged, seamless, and smooth. Touch, hand holding. Sana all may holding hands. Ones in the grass or the feeling of starch fabric on one's skin. Movement, burning muscles from exertion, swimming in the cold water, or kicking a soccer ball. Okay, so ilan lamang yan sa tactile imagery. Okay, so example of tactile imagery. After the long run, he collapsed in the grass with tired and burning muscles. The grass tickled his skin and sweat cooled in his brow. In this example, imagery is used to describe the feeling of strained muscles, grass tickled, and sweat cooling in the skin. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you learned something today. So kung may question or question tayo, chat box lang po tayo.